Welcome back to Shine Anywhere and Everywhere. I am Inder and today I am going to talk about how to think in English. Why thinking in English is so important to speak the language fluently and quite naturally, and how to get around it. So if you are working on your English fluency, stick around for the entire episode. Well, we all speak our native languages fluently and quite naturally. The speech formation happens instantaneously and automatically. Suppose if you have to say something in your native language, then most probably you will come up with it instantly in a flash. You would think in your native language and in a short while produce the speech. Actually, it takes a fraction of a second for our speech producing organ to catch up with our brain. However, this is not what exactly happens when we speak in English. Does it? No. While learning English, we tend to think of everything in our native language and then translate it in English. This is because our minds need to understand the words and structure them into sentences before we speak. Now suppose if you have to say something in English, then probably you will take much longer to say it. Reason: you would first think in your native language, then translate it in English, and then finally produce the speech. So apparently you have to go through two layers of thought, which inevitably results in awkward pauses in your speech. Consequently, you don't sound fluent and natural at all. Translating from your native language to English is helpful up to a certain point in your English learning journey. But to truly master the language, you need to grow out of it. You have to eliminate the translation link and learn to think in English. When you think in English, you learn the language better and faster and have an easier time speaking it loud. The more you speak a language in your head, the easier it is for you to speak it with your mouth. Simple. So you want to learn how to think in English? So let's talk about it. Well, have you ever wondered how come thinking in your native language comes so naturally and automatically to you? Well, it happens so naturally because you have been using the language for a long time, and now it has become your default option of not only speech but even thought. Interestingly, your native language and English live in two different compartments of your brain. Needless to mention, the compartment of your native language is strong and dominant. The compartment of English, on the other hand, is not so strong, simply because you haven't been using it for long enough. So clearly, the balance between your native language and English in your brain is lopsided. The balance is tilted towards your native language. And this is the reason you have to go through your native language every time you speak in English. Now you have to reduce this lopsidedness in your brain if you want to think in English and speak it as naturally and fluently as you do your native language. How are you going to do that? Very simple. By spending more and more time with English. Yes, just forget about your native language for a while and surround yourself with English as much as you can. Replace every activity that you do in your native language with English. For instance, if you read in your native language, start reading in English. And do the same with listening, watching, speaking and writing. Just immerse yourself in the language. And believe me, immersion is going to help every aspect of your English language skills. If you persist, then over a period of time, the lopsidedness in your brain will gradually reduce and you will be on the track to think in English the way you do in your native language. Yes, thinking in English comes only after you have been exposed to the enough of the language for a long time. It doesn't come right away. It comes gradually with time. If you are not thinking in English yet, if you still have to translate in your head, it is simply because you haven't spent enough time with the language or you are not surrounding yourself enough with the language. I have said it before and I am going to say it again. Just surround yourself with English as much as you possibly can. I am speaking from experience. Your non-English environment is the biggest challenge for you. It is a huge obstacle on your way to English fluency. So change it immediately. Create an environment around you where you can immerse yourself in the language. One of the most effective ways to surround yourself with English is to practice thinking in English. Yes, while it may take some time for your unconscious thoughts to operate entirely in English, in the meantime, you can make a conscious effort to think in English. And what is thinking? It's nothing but speaking to yourself silently. It is that internal monologue that you have in your head all day long. Now guess how much thinking you do in a day? Well, it's been said anywhere between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts cross a human mind every single day. It's a lot of thinking, isn't it? And you do all the thinking in your native language, don't you? Too bad for English compartment in your brain. You are not giving it any chance to grow. Now, if you could switch all the thinking to English, imagine the kind of hours you would get to spend with English. It's going to increase your contact hours with English exponentially. And this is exactly what you need to get yourself to think in English. Easier said than done. It really doesn't come so easy. You have to make consistent, conscious effort to make it happen. You have to be strategic. And the best strategy always is to start with a small step. And here that small step is to think in individual words. Yes, whenever you are free or not onto something that require your focus and attention, just look around you and try to name different objects and situations in your surrounding in English. The next step is to think in simple sentences. When it becomes easy, you can move on to complex sentences. Keep moving forward. Now try to combine sentences into small talk. When you are comfortable with it, make conversation with yourself. You can always speak to yourself in your head. And finally, make conversations with others. Yes, it's time to interact. Interacting with others can be a bit challenging at first, but it's vitally important to train your mind to think in English. Just remember one thing in the whole scheme of things. The change will not take place instantly. It's gonna take time. So stick around long enough to see the change and to witness the progress you are making. It is only a matter of time until you get used to thinking in English and be able to speak English fluently and quite naturally. So well, this brings us to the end of today's video. If you liked it, leave a like. Consider subscribing for more videos like this. I'll see you next time. Until then, it's Inder with Shine anywhere and everywhere saying goodbye.